And I was talking to Oprah one time, and she said, I did a life class with her this past year, and she said, Steve, I never knew you had a vision board. She said, you believe in that? And this was the first time we had a serious conversation. I said, Oprah, how am I not going to believe in that? Every successful person I know has a vision board, or they have their goals written down. You can't do it without writing it down. When you write it down, it's a symbol of faith. See, I was telling this story earlier about writing it down. You know, teacher, we were in the 6th grade, and asked us to write on a piece of paper. We came in from summer, what you want to be when you grow up. So everybody filled out the paper. You had to put your name on it, had to write this one thing. In 1968. So I wrote, I want to be on TV. Because nobody had told me I couldn't. I was 10. My vision was wide open. So I wrote, I want to be on TV. She collected all the papers. She started going around the room, naming everybody's name, had everybody stand up. And she read what they wanted to be. Barbara wanted to be a nurse. Johnny wanted to be a basketball player. Robert wanted to own a gas station. Cindy wanted to be a doctor. She got to me, she waited last. Now, I had never gotten a gold star before, all of my years of school. And she asked me to stand. And when I stood, she said, little Stevie, come to the front of the class. Now I'm thinking to myself, this is it. This is the gold star moment. I've been waiting 10 years for this. I ain't never got a star before. This is the day. So I started walking to the front. I'm skinny. I got my brother's clothes on because we were poor. I got up there and she said, Steve, let me ask you something. What did you write on your paper? I said, I want to be on TV. She said, and why did you write that on your paper? I said, because that was our assignment for today. And then she said, what you write that on the paper for? Now I'm thinking to myself, judging by the tone of this conversation, this might not be the gold star moment I thought it was going to be. So I started cowering down. And she said, so why did you write it on the paper? And I said, because you asked us to. Voice is really soft. She said, do you know anybody on TV? I said, no. Anybody in this school ever been on TV? I said, no. Any of your relatives been on TV? I said, no, ma'am. She said, take this paper. I'm going to call your mama. When you go home, I'm going to tell her you being a smart aleck in this class. Now you take this paper and you come back with something more believable on it. So she pinned a note on me and I had to go home. My mama was waiting on me because she called the house. So my mother said, what you doing up at that school being a smart aleck? I said, Mama, I just did what the teacher told me to do. She read the note. She said, what you write this on your paper for? I said, because the lady asked me what I wanted to be. I want to be on TV. She said, I'm telling your daddy when you get home. Well, my father was the executioner. My mother was the warden, and he was the executioner. And I knew when he got home, I was going to get my ass whooped. So, excuse me, I'm sorry, that slipped out. I didn't mean to sorry about that. I was going to get my butt whipped. And so when my father came home, she told my father, look what Steve wrote on this paper. So he read the paper. He said, what's going on here? Said, Steve up at that school act like a smart ass. That teacher done asked him what he wanted to be, and he done put, I want to be on TV. My father read the paper. He said, what's wrong with that? I started thinking, uh-oh, a reprieve. So he said, boy, go in your room. I'll be in there in a minute. And I got my spankings in the room, so I went on in there getting ready. Him and my mother had an argument. My father came in the room. He said, boy, what you write this on your paper for? I said, because I want to be on TV. He said, what she wants you to write on the paper? I said, like a basketball player or policeman. He said, put that on paper. Take it up to the school and give it to that dream-killing heifer. So I write it. He said, now take your paper. He said, before you go to bed tonight, now this is my father now with a 3rd grade education. My father was a sharecropper in Alabama. He said, read your paper every night before you go to bed. And when you wake up in the morning, read your paper before you go to school. Read your paper every day and read your paper every night. I took my paper up to the school and I turned it in. It took me till I was 38 years old. But I finally got on TV.
Hello there and welcome. I'm Bob Proctor. I want to talk about the law of attraction. Do you know that the law of attraction is always working? It's like the law of gravity. If I let this go, it's going to go down. It's never going to go back up. It's going to go down. That is the law of gravity. Anything heavier than Earth is attracted towards the center of the world. Well, the law of attraction is always working. Now, how does it work? Well, I use a diagram to explain the mind. Now, let this circle represent your mind. And let this little circle here represent your body. Now, I want you to think of this for a moment. Your body is a molecular structure. This is a massive energy and a very high speed of vibration. If you looked at your body through a microscope, you'd see that energy dancing right before your eyes. And here's something that'll keep you thinking for the next 20 years. When you move out of it, the body does not stop moving. If you go to a funeral parlor and pick up the remains and look at it, you will see it moving. And if it wasn't moving, how would it ever change to dust? You move into your body and you will move out. And it's how you use your mind that's going to dictate the vibration you're in. Now stay with me. You have an imaginary line right across here, and that separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind has been programmed. When you were a little baby, this is the way it was. So just like this, subconscious mind wide open, and everything that was going on around it went right in there. And all the energy that went in there when you were just a little baby formed something called a paradigm. Now, a paradigm is information. It's a multitude of habits. You are the product of your environment, but prior to that, you were the product of a genetic strain that goes back for generations. Now, I'm going to say that the paradigm is X-type energy. Now, you've got the ability here on a conscious level to think, and you can think anything you want to think. And as you think, you build ideas. There's a power that's flowing into your consciousness. It never stops. It flows to and through you. You can actually photograph this power leaving you. It flows to and through you. Now, as it flows in, you will start thinking, and you'll probably think X-type thoughts. Therefore, you're going to be in an X-type vibration. And that will produce X-type results. Now, it's the results you want to change. And to change the results, you're going to have to change what you attract. You see, the thoughts that you think control the vibration that you're in. Vibration is nothing but an idea. It's a law of the universe. Everything vibrates, nothing rests. We live in an ocean of motion. And it's the thoughts that you're thinking that you impress upon your subconscious mind that control the vibration the body's in. And that dictates how you act, but it also dictates what you attract. You attract energy that's in harmony with you. You attract people that are in harmony with you. You see, everything operates on frequencies. There's an infinite number of frequencies, but you and I operate on a frequency just like a radio station does. And the only music you can attract is the music that is tuned into the vibration you're in. Now, it's the paradigm that has been controlling the vibration. You can change your thinking, but that doesn't do anything. You got to change the paradigm. And if you don't change the paradigm, nothing happens. Now, talking about paradigms is another subject. We'll do that at another time. But it's the thoughts that you think that control the vibration you're in, and that dictates what you attract. So if you keep attracting what you don't want, understand this. It's the paradigm that's causing the problem. You can think a Y-type thought, which is totally different than the X-type conditioning. It isn't going to go anywhere. Because when you go to get emotionally involved, and this is the emotional mind, when you go to get emotionally involved with that Y-type thought, the paradigm will kick it out. You know why? It's so uncomfortable. That's stepping out of the box. That's doing things different. And we don't like to do things different because it causes a lot of discomfort. But understand this. The paradigm and the thinking control the vibration you're in. And the vibration you're in is going to dictate what you attract. People that are in a poverty consciousness will continue to attract lack and limitation. It has nothing to do with this, what's going on here. This is your educated mind, and you could gather all kinds of information. Have you ever wondered why some people have such an educated mind? They have degrees coming right off the end of their business card. but it doesn't show up in the results. Why? Paradigm. The law of attraction. You've got to change this. You've got to change the vibration you're in, and your whole world changes. Listen, in 1961, a man gave me this book, and he said, do exactly what I tell you. He was giving me Y-type ideas. It caused an enormous amount of discomfort, but I did exactly what he said. And you know something? My income went from $4,000 to $175,000 in a year, and then I took it over $1 million. It took me 9.5 years to figure out what happened. This is what I'm showing you. Watch this over and over and over again. There's a number of lessons in here.